Hi guys, so today we thought we'd run through some of the foods that we use for our horsfield tortoises. As you can see in front of me, I've got a variety of fresh store-bought weeds that you can pick yourself or forage yourself, the pellets that you buy from your local pet shop, and some additions that you can add to the diet to help with the shell growth and for fibre. So foraging wise, obviously everybody knows about dandelions. I'm lucky to live by a hill where there's plenty of them, so I tend to pick quite a few. I wash them when I bring them back and then put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I can put them in the fridge. They last for 3 to 4 days in the fridge. Things like from the garden, you can grow pansies, violas, like these ones here. These make a nice addition to your tortoise's diet. They absolutely love them, especially my smaller ones. They absolutely go mad for them. There's hedge garlic, plantain, but you can also grow things like rockets, lamb's lettuce, things like that in the garden. Obviously that'll save you some money if you can start to grow. We're trying to grow this year for the first time. So aside from lamb's lettuce and rocket that we're growing this year, and also cucumbers, I've started growing some of them. There's lots of other things that you can grow in your garden, or you might already have in your garden, like lilac blossoms are fine for them. But to be sure and to be safe that you're giving them the right thing, there is an app called the Tortoise Table App, which we've used since the beginning and we absolutely rely on. So download it, it's absolutely for free. It's definitely worth getting the Tortoise Table app. It tells you, you've got different levels on there for safe feeds, moderate feeds, and ones that are unsafe and they shouldn't be fed. Obviously the safe feeds and the moderate feeds, you're probably under what that is, but basically that's things like kale. If you're going to give kale, which we'll come on to in a minute, then you shouldn't mix that with certain other things because it contains a higher level of, I think they're called goitrotins or something. But you'll find out all about that, and it's easy to sort out, and it's not even a worry. You don't even think about it after a while. So definitely download that. It's been invaluable to help us. So the normal store-bought items, these ones here are they call them spring greens in the UK, but I think they're collard greens in America. My older girl absolutely loved these. I just cut them up, or sort of shred them and put them on their slates. Romaine lettuce. Now this one isn't like nutritionally very high in anything, but it's full of moisture, and also I've got one tortoise, Hamish, who's a bit difficult to feed, and this is one of the things I can always get him to eat, so romaine lettuce is a constant in our fridge. Kale. This is sort of a bit hit and miss with mine, but I try and keep some in. Sometimes they'll go for it, sometimes they won't, but it is a good one. Lamb's lettuce is a staple for mine. They absolutely love it, all of them, from the small ones up to the large ones. Ferret crispy, everything in here is edible. It's got to be the crispy one, not the mixed one, but the crispy one. This has got lamb's lettuce, frise and radicchio in it, and if yours is anything like mine, I absolutely love the radicchio. Chicory is, with Hamish, he does like red chicory, so I tend to keep this in stock. He doesn't eat a lot of it, maybe 1 to 2 leaves, but I like to make sure he's got something that I can rely on that he's going to eat. Some of the dates on the bags, obviously, I think it says on here, once opened for these, used within 24 hours. Well, that's just for humans, that's not for tortoises. So they tend to be all right 3 days for the torts. So just as fresh then. If you roll it down or put it in a Ziploc bag once it's open, that's absolutely fine. When we went on holiday this year, we bought one of these living lettuces, which although we had somebody coming in to look after them twice a week, we wanted to put something into them they could just have a nibble on, it would be safe. So if you're going away for a few days and you want to just make sure they've got something like that, then you can plant something like that in. Very easy. And our 2 little ones actually stripped theirs bare. There was nothing left when we got back, so they obviously enjoyed that. So cucumber, I only give them a slice each, and only thinly sliced. This is just for extra moisture content that will help them keep hydrated. So maybe they only get that once a week. It's not a daily item. Similarly with carrot, I just grate this on occasionally. Some people say it's rich in vitamin A, which is good for them, but again, less than once a week and just an occasional treat. I've got these ones. These are Komodo ones. I've actually got a cucumber one somewhere as well. But this is the floral one and the dandelion one. I give them these only as treats, really. It tells you they've got a good balanced nutrition. For me, this isn't a complete feed. I prefer the fresh, but it has got a good phosphorus ratio, so I use these as treats, and they absolutely love them. So I soak them with a bit of water, so they're almost springy, the little pellets. They're actually quite hard when they come out, but if you soak them in, you can do it in cold or warmish water. They come into like little sponges and they seem to hoover them up. The little ones absolutely love it, so That's a treat. If you've got to do anything or check them over, they'll always come over for one of these. This one, I haven't tried that successfully yet. I think it's fairly new to the market, but I did try with Hamish, who, as I say, is not very easy to feed or anything, but he hadn't shown much interest, but I will keep it in stock because you never know which one might take a liking to it. So I've got cut-off fish. Now, each tortoise has got one of these in on their table. This is, I find Monty, the smaller the small ones, he nibbles away quite a lot of this, and it's supposed to be good for their shells, so even if it looks like they're not bothering with them at the beginning, it's worth definitely keeping a piece of this in. They're only really cheap. It's about £1.50 for 4 bits over here in the UK, so definitely worth it. You can even get little discs if you didn't want a bigger piece. These ones, this is Nutrizoo and this is Missouri. These can sort of be used over the winter time, but also if you're having a bit of trouble or your tortoise is a bit under the weather, you can make these up into, you let them soak and they become sort of like a, I wouldn't say like a porridge, but they soften down. So you might be able to get some nutrition into them with these, so we keep a supply of these in stock. The calcium carbonate here, that's only a couple of pounds for a fairly big bag, and you just sprinkle this onto the food you're giving them every day, the fresh food you're giving them in every day. Supposed to help with the shell, so that's perfect. Another way of getting calcium into them. They might not always like it, I must admit. I put it on and they seem to avoid it, but at least I've tried. And this one here, this is for our baby ones I use this. This is pre-Alpen. This is like a high fibre. It's actually very small fibre. You can get it for the adults as well. I'll show you. So it's quite dry, so what I tend to do is when I wash my weeds, then I just sprinkle a few on it, so when the weeds are still wet, they sort of stick to it, so it's a way of getting it into them as well.